Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project and Magnetic Reversal News, bringing you a grand solar minimum update Saturday, February 22nd, just about midnight, 2/22/2020. And that's not even funny. The models are in, and the patterns have shifted. As we predicted a week ago, the mainstream is picking up on what we put down, that it is going to be a cold and epic spring. Many people are reporting that there's no snow in Europe. There's no snow in Japan and China. The ski resorts have to close. Even in France, there's no snow. Ho, ho, ho! If you just wait 9 days, all the snow you're missing will be piling up in the Alps, and you'll be buried. Keep calm. It's boom time. Snow returns to the Front Range, and that means outside my front door. Al Gore is, well, he's been lying. Most of the state will be covered in snow by the end of tomorrow. Combination of systems will bring more rain and waterlog to the waterlogged south and some snow to the Midwest and the Northeast, as well as the Four Corners region, which they left out in this headline because it's a global warming narrative. First alert weather, potential snow Tuesday and Wednesday for Wisconsin, where it's going to be chilly. And here it is, U.S. National Forecast, big changes to March 2020 temperature outlook. Who knew? We did. Big changes to the March 2020 pattern coming in as the mainstream is seeing the same models that I was looking at. Colder than average conditions may start spring in parts of the central and southern U.S. Parts of the U.S. that haven't seen winter, really. Well, they just did. They got some snow there in North and South Kakalaki. Let me adjust that. Near above average temperatures are expected in parts of the west and the northwest, which means it'll still be winter. Big changes have been made in the March temperature outlook due to an unexpected pattern change, according to the latest outlook from the weather company and IBM Business. How are they involved? They know a lot about weather. Previously, most of the lower 48 was expected to experience a warm, global warming spring, but the information suggests that we lied. Yes, not me, the mainstream. Temperatures are expected to be below average from parts of the Dakotas to the upper Mississippi Valley, all the way into Tennessee Valley and North Georgia. A widespread area from Montana eastward into the Great Lakes and into the south is likely to see, well, winter. Most of the Northeast, as well as areas of the Rockies, can expect temperatures near or above average, but for half of the continent, below average. And that's tonight's first wake-up call to your boom future. Keep calm. We're just getting there. Yes, I don't even know where we are. Final week of February to bring multiple chances of snowfall across the nation. Look at that meridional flow that the mainstream is showing there. Look at that. Look at that drop down in the jet stream. Due to the waning magnetosphere, many multifaceted reasons that we've been predicting this way before the masses. As February enters its final week, AccuWeather forecasters are enjoying two storms, and they're eyeing them as well. Well, actually, we're enjoying them. One weakening and the other strengthening. They have the potential to dump snow on areas from the Central Plains to the mid-Mississippi Valley to the Great Lakes region and the interior Northeast. Wow, that sounds like a storyline. As Winter Storm Nash brings the largest snowfall to North Carolina and Virginia just 2 days ago, as 13 million people braced for freezing temperatures, and they got just a tippy touch, just a little snow. Nothing happened there. This article is garbage and salacious and nonsense. 13 million people barely were affected by the snow. And those that were idiots and didn't know how to drive, period. Let's get to the facts. Snowfall analysis from the last 48 hours showed the only snow in the country of significant value in North Carolina and Virginia, on the coast, which seldom sees snow. Ho, ho. And there you go. More heavy snow for the North Cascades coming in now. Heavy rain moving into the south central U.S. Another Pacific storm will move across the northwest Sunday and Monday, which will be their fun day with heavy snow forecast over the North Cascades. A storm bringing snow to the Four Corners states. Sunday will also shift heavy rain and some thunderstorms into the central U.S. and Mississippi River Valley into Monday, where there are flood warnings up here in Kiss My Southwest Missouri, which is miserable. Frost and freeze warnings in North Florida and Georgia again tonight. Hello. Are you picking it up? It's so hot out there. Moving on, GFS model. We're only going a week ahead here. And there it is. It's boom time in the west. The mountains will pick up snow. And take a look at what's about to happen here. In the areas of California that claim that they're going to be in a drought and it's all over and they're all going to burn up, and the articles we just reported on about to pick up some multiple feet of snow before March 3rd. Multiple feet all the way down into the Baja Peninsula. And this system will move south and east. It's anyone's guess how March will unravel, but there is a March 7th, 8th storm in the forecast that looks devastating. So if you're missing winter, it's coming in March. Mark my words. And these numbers and this cherry picking, well, these people are going to be embarrassed. I went to check the numbers on a lot of these ski resorts, and they don't get a lot of snow. So they cherry picked a few resorts that have bad seasons every decade, and they picked the wrong resorts. Because if they're picking the French Alps, they're about to get buried in 1.5 meters of snow in the next 8 days. Take a look at the UK forecast. If you've been missing out on snow, well, Christmas has just arrived. Yeah. And by February 27th, UK will be buried. They won't even know it hit them. It will be an eclipse, and then the Alps takes its toll. And we'll report on it while they explain it away. Seismic update. Normal activity worldwide. Good news for the U.S. and other areas. Worldwide volcano news update. The only volcano of note is Klucheskov, which just blew to 20,000 feet, and this little glowing baby up in the top right. I hope you're not camping near there. Second person in 3 days struck and killed by a Mardi Gras float. I can't even make this up. 11 people a day killed while texting and walking across the street. And now one person a day is killed by a float at a parade. Boom. State Representative Harper wants to give state and local government the power to regulate your garden. Now, if you live in Chicago and you don't stick your foot up this woman's, I don't know where your foot has been, and I don't even know what you're doing. A politician wants to regulate your garden. I can only imagine what you'd like to tell them. I know what I would say. It wouldn't be pretty. And Representative Harper, if I lived in Chicago, you would never be reelected. On top of that, you would have a miserable tenure while you were there. There would be people outside of your office taking names and protesting your nonsense. But the problem is that out of every 1,000 people that say they're going to do something, you know how many do it? 1. So all the thousands of people out there that say you're going to organize a march or a rally, you're a fraud. And I'm going to challenge you right now. And I know this from experience. Of the thousands of people that claim they were going to come and help me for marches and rallies and organizing events, less than 1% show up. That's how pathetic humanity is. There are thousands of people that are excited to get involved, and 1% shows up. You know what that equates to? A bunch of lazy pricks that claim that they care. And you're listening. You are one of them. You're listening right now. You said you were going to do something. You're like, oh, it was only a volunteer. I didn't have to go. I'm going to watch TV. Now, Twitter suspends 70 Bloomberg boosting accounts for violating company policy. You know why? Because Bloomberg is paying for the election. He's going to put all his money up, and he's going to lose. And I hope he loses $1 billion because this out of touch loser deserves to lose every single dollar that he puts into this election. Not only that, he deserves to be depressed and upset and disillusioned the rest of his life because he's just a rich prick that created the problem that we're living. Period. Bloomberg is part of the problem. He is not a solution. If you think that this man is a solution, you are part of the delusion. You fucking idiot. Oh my God, I don't even know where I'm clicking. New tests under Antarctica's Doomsday Thwaites Glacier reveal it has warm water welling up under from 3 different directions. None of those directions are human caused, but they don't say it in the article because they've already planted the seed. This is all your fault. And these 3 different directions are all because you didn't pay your taxes. I can't wait till they don't come save you for the coronavirus. NASA image shows Antarctic's Eagle Island almost ice-free. Oh my God. This is the end of Antarctica. Except that Eagle Island is 1,700 miles from the South Pole, which is saying that Florida is ice-free versus the Arctic Circle. Oh my God! Florida has no ice! We're all gonna die! It's almost disgusting how stupid these so-called reporters are. No one's ever going to check where this island is. They'll have no idea it's 1,700 miles north of the South Pole. They won't know. We won't tell them. That's why they won't know. Rainbow snakes seen in Florida. This is in the Ocala National Forest for the first time since most people have been born. 1969 was the last time this snake was seen. And it was dead because of mass extinction and all your fault, except it's not. Another one of those stories, like the blue whales and humpbacks and everything else that's recovering to epic proportions. These 4 pieces of evidence have already taken us beyond the Big Bang. And what that means is that the Big Bang is nonsense. Invented in the 1500s by a Francian monk and then perpetuated in the early 1900s by idiots. But the point is that the universe as we see it has some properties and some puzzles that the Big Bang fails to explain. If everything began from a singular point, a singularity, a finite amount, a time ago, then went boom! There are certain things in thermodynamics and physics that we would expect. Different regions of space would have different temperatures, since they wouldn't have the ability to communicate and exchange particles, radiation, and other forms of information, especially at these grand scales of light years. Leftover particle relics from the earliest, hottest times, such as the magnetic monopoles and other topological defects would exist. And some degree of spatial curvature, since the Big Bang arises from a singularity or blowing out in a bubble, we would see a curvature or something to the initial expansion rate, and total matter and energy density would vary based on that blasting out ball. And the reality is that as of today, none of the things I said were true, which means that the Big Bang theory is completely false. If none of the 3 main rules or constants of the theory are true, then the theory is dead beyond death. But it still continues, and it's taught to your children in schools. None of these things that I just said are true. The universe has the same temperature properties everywhere, no leftover high energy relics, and is perfectly spatially flat in all directions. Not only that, let's just add insult to injury. Methuselah star, other galaxies, quasars, and other phenomena unexplained appear to be older than the age of the Big Bang, of the entire universe. We have a star 200 light years away that is 1 billion years older than the purported age of the universe, which is impossible. There are so many dozens of impossible things, not to mention that the three main premises of the Big Bang hypothesis are not true. And we still use a hypothesis that is 100% unproven, 100% false, 100% disproven by current information, and there are dozens of other outliers that disprove the hypothesis. So nothing proves this hypothesis, except that there are thousands of fuddy-duddy cosmologists and astrophysicists and astronomers that clutch onto it because their whole life depends on it. And if it were untrue, they would be complete idiots and charlatans, which they are. Could you imagine all of the thousands of 10,000s of scientists that have dedicated their whole life? They're wrong and they refuse to listen to what we've been saying for years. How pathetic are they? How embarrassed should you be to call yourself a scientist with this apocalyptic level of information disproving your hypothesis? You still glom onto it like a pink elephant flying in the wind. You should be ashamed of yourself. It's embarrassing. All to save your integrity. If you had integrity, you would admit defeat. And you would support the scientists that are working on the facts that will change the future. This is my message to you. Read the papers. This is bullshit. And if you send your children to school, they'll learn this nonsense, which is embarrassing. These are facts. Magnetic reversals cause mass extinctions and speciation. If you're illiterate, you could still read this graph. Please study it. I will link it below. I'm in direct contact to the scientists that created this document. We're going to be doing some extensive work and podcasts on the topic in the near future so that we can bring classes to the masses that don't have the money to pay for false information and they want to learn the history of humanity. Which is why my partner and I spend all of our free time driving endlessly in the middle of nowhere and then hiking for hours to go take a few pictures because we've been lied to. These places are hidden on purpose and difficult to get to. This is a petroglyph supposedly from the Fremont people. And we just got back from a panel in Utah in the Butler Wash called the Procession Panel, where there are bird-headed anthropomorphs out the wazoo. And it's no coincidence why we're doing the work, because Egyptologists have been hiding the same information from us time immemorial. The gods, Horus and Thoth, these are all bird-headed anthropomorphs. Here's a falcon head. Here's the ibis. I want you to look at the ibis head and Thoth holding the amazing candle of light, or whatever the fuck that is. And then go look at this anthropomorph. Thoth on the left, the Fremont anthropomorph. Thoth on the left, the Fremont anthropomorph. Something is missing. Well, Daredevil Mike Hughes died today as he was proving the earth was not round. He reached a flat conclusion that it was very solid. Our prayers go out to this guy and the end to the flat earth conspiracy, hopefully. Hope you got something out of the video. Stupid people die every day. 11 die from texting walking across the street. Some die from shooting themselves 50 feet in the air, proving the earth is flat. but we all die. Will you make a difference? Or will you make a dent in the earth? It's your choice. We love each and every one of you. Thanks to our one-time donors, our 100 new Patreons. We will not let you down. There is more important information coming. Times are changing. And your civil liberties will soon be removed. Are you ready? Are you prepared? Proper preparation prevents piss poor performance. Buy beans, buy bullets, buy rice. I hope you have guns. Time's about to change. Crypto is soaring. Things are not boring. We love you. Be safe. Peace.